Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Feed and Focus for Remote Work and Digital Nomads podcast. I'm your host, Shurina, your brain coach, and here I'm delivering to you all the brain tools you can use to feel, look, and do your absolute best. And as we know on this podcast already, especially if you've been a listener for quite a while, you know that I'm a huge believer and proponent of the idea that it's all in the brain. Whether we're trying to lose weight, get fitter, get stronger, build up our company, create better relationships with people around us, it's all in the brain. It's all how we use our brain to operate reality to get to our destinations. And right now, I'm very excited because it's kind of like a golden era of neuroscience research where we get more and more data about the brain, and then really smart people, neuroscientists, translate this data into useful protocols. And I'm here to deliver those protocols applied to very specific life situations and very specific life problems that you might be having. So this is my mission, right? To change the conversation about our brain and the change and the learning experience and the getting better experience, that actually it can all be much easier if we just help our brain to function. It was designed to function. Tomorrow, I'm going to introduce to you a couple of lists of ideas for specific problems that got viral on this new social media platform. Kind of social media. I still don't know whether that's social media or I'm supposed to call it somewhat else. It's called NotePD by James Altucher. And that's where most people write down a lot of ideas for different problems, for different challenges, for different things in life, right? How to make life better in different areas with all these different ideas. In the platform, there is even a tool to sell these ideas. Like if you have a really good idea for a business or to solve some problem, you might want to sell it. And on this platform, a couple of my posts, well, actually by now, I think it's 4, got more than 10,000 views. And another one got more, I think it's just the right place for me to write down all the ideas that I'm having, all the practical ideas. So I'm going to introduce to you a couple of lists. Today, the list is about let me read the caption of my list. 10 ideas to stop ADHD and make long focus on one thing easier. Adjusting brain chemistry with neuroscience research. And I'm continuing reading to you. What's focus? It's a brain cocktail that has 3 ingredients: dopamine, noradrenaline, acetylcholine, I think that's the right pronunciation. It is also a relationship between distractions management, your motivation, and clarity of your end destination. Okay, what done looks like. Most people don't have clinical ADHD, and I truly believe this, guys. We did not get more ADHD as a society, as a generation. Most people have the wrong setup for focus to happen. Here are 10 research-based ideas, anti-ADHD ideas. And I'm going to read to you the ideas and sometimes give you more comments, but the whole list, again, got viral, sort of. I think now it's, how many views do I have now on this post? 11,300 something. A few comments, likes. So people do struggle with that. And the reason is, guys, again, the reason why you might be struggling with focus more is because our environment changed a lot. Not our brain, and there is nothing wrong with your brain, most probably, is the environment. We got more distractions, we got all kinds of technology that is interrupting us all the time. And a lot more information and data and things that distract us. And the way we set up our living and working environment usually also doesn't help. And plus, nobody teaches us how to actually focus. And plus, there was not so much research. But without further ado, today, you're gonna learn 10 really practical, really good ideas to help you to focus much better and struggle with attention all over the place much less. Number 1, reduce visual distractions. Where your gaze goes, your focus flows. every time, guys, there is something in your environment that is moving, that is changing, or there are just too many things, your brain is actually managing all of that stuff. You are aware of that stuff. You're visually aware, and your brain is managing that. So research shows that the more distractions, visual distractions especially, because visual sense is the sense that is dedicated quite a lot of space in our brain, like literal space and resources. And visual distractions are probably one of the most powerful distractions. So the more you have them in the place where you work, the harder it's going to be for you to focus, right? So if you choose some really busy coffee shop or an office, don't be surprised that your attention is all over the place, guys. That's what's supposed to happen. Number 2, reduce audio distractions. Your brain is always listening. That is also true. Your brain is analyzing your environment all the time for the possible signs of danger or for the possible signs of opportunities, guys. So if you are listening to some conversations, there are noises popping in and out of your sound environment, you're also going to be more distracted, and it's going to be so much harder to focus. Number 3, put your phone away, out of sight, out of mind. There has been really good research done. Participants had their phone right by their side, visually aware and reachable. Then they had their phone a little bit further away, but still visible. And then they had their phone either hidden away somewhere in the back or in completely other room. And then they gave those people cognitive tasks. And so people performed the worst when the phone was right there. They performed a little bit better when the phone was away, but still visible. And they performed much better when the phone was hidden in the other room, right? So that really matters, believe it or not, because you might not think about that, but your brain knows that there is something happening or about to happen in your phone, and it's always being monitored, your phone, and your brain dedicates a lot of space. Well, it's hard to measure how much, but you spend a lot of time on your phone. You do a lot of things with your phone, and your brain knows it, and that's why it's always monitored, right? You're spending your resources not on your work, but on your phone. Number 4, take care of emergencies first. Be okay with being unreachable. And that means turn off all the notifications of everything, your calls, your social media. Tell people that you are working on something and you'd like to not be distracted unless it's an emergency, right? But the purpose of this idea, actually take care of the emergencies first. If there is a call that you need to make, if there are groceries being delivered, if you need to answer this email that is kind of pressing and might be important, take those things out of your mind. Either put them on schedule, right? And you're yeah, nothing gonna happen. I'm okay if I deal with that then, or just take care of that, and then with a peace of mind get to work, because the brain is aware of what's happening in your life. And if you're worried about something, it's gonna be affecting your work, because some resources gonna be dedicated to that problem. Number 5, keep unrelated apps and tabs closed. Reduce digital clutter. So this is about your digital environment. When you are working on your computer, you should be using as less stuff there as possible. If you need a browser, open one tab with, Google or some other search engine that you use for research. If you need one app to do your work, maybe your writing app, right? Or something else, then just use that. Don't have all the tabs with social media and an email open. It's going to distract you, and you're going to be checking it out whether you want it or not. Your attention is going to be diverted with every little tiny beep, or there is a notification on your laptop popping out to upgrade your something, right? Put yourself into I think it's focus mode or do not disturb mode. Different computers have different things, but you can actually stop all the notifications for this important work that you are doing. And it's really affecting your focus, your ability to focus. Number 6, use background music, binaural beats, white noise to strengthen focus. Now, I said that eliminate audio distractions, but those are things that are unexpected, that you do not use on purpose. Music can actually help you to focus, because it's kind of like this constant thing that your brain can focus a little bit, and your other focus on the other thing, your main focus on, let's say, on writing, will be also that single-minded, right? It's going to be easier for you to focus on one thing when you have this constant music going on or some beats. Some people like to put, I'm one of those people, some song on repeat, that usually without words, and some jazz music or some electronic music, and it just goes on repeat, and you're kind of hearing the same thing over and over and over again. Obviously, it shouldn't be loud, it shouldn't be distracting, it should be some beat and rap that's going to distract you, right? But there are different things that can help with focus audio-wise. Specifically, binaural beats seem to help a lot. Specific frequencies, 40 gigahertz, I think that's but just Google binaural beats 40 and it will pop up. There are tons of variations on YouTube. And don't forget to use your headphones with binaural beats, because otherwise they do not work. Number 7, use first 8 hours of your waking time to dedicate to deep focused work. Now, when you wake up, your brain after the period of waking up is the most focused it ever gonna be. So the first hour of waking, actually your brain chemistry changes and you produce more things like dopamine, norepinephrine, things that are required and important for your focus. So the first 8 hours of waking, you have a lot of them, and then after they actually start to reduce probably after noon or after a few hours of your waking, and then by the time you go to bed, they are really at a low level. They kind of, cycle like the sun goes up maybe to the noon and then goes down. The same happens to your dopamine, your noradrenaline, the ones, and it's a good thing because you need to sleep, and those are not good for sleeping. Number 8, write down what done looks like to prevent mind wandering. What it means is, before sitting down to do the work, write down what is the result you are working on, because having a clear picture of the end result will help your brain to filter out unnecessary information. And instead of being anxious, like, should I do this? Should I do that? Like, should I research this? The more clear you are on the end destination, the easier it is going to be for you to focus on the exact things that will lead you towards this destination and nothing more. So write down a few action steps and the exact results that you are looking for the next, let's say, 90 minutes. It's a good time for one cycle of deep work. Number 9, stare at one point for 30 seconds. Where our gaze goes, our focus flows, just like at the beginning. Stare at one point, probably maybe 10 meters or maybe less in front of you. The wall, ideally, the wall doesn't have any distractions, maybe some dot to stare at. When you focus your eyes on one spot for about 20-30 seconds, it helps your brain to be that laser focus on other things you're about to do. Research-based, Andrew Huberman introduced me to this method, so use it. It works, especially when your focus starts to wander. Just stare at one point in front of you for about 30 seconds. And number 10, don't overeat. Some caffeine helps. Eggs are amazing. So this is kind of breakfast thing. You might be a fan of breakfast, you might not be a fan of breakfast. Usually the breakfast that is light and supplies certain proteins, certain carbohydrates, certain fibers, certain nutrients like vitamin C, for example, good breakfast will help you to focus. What will not help you to focus? Things like over-caffeinating yourself. When you're too jittery, you have a lot of energy, but nothing done. And if you are already struggling with ADHD, a lot of caffeine definitely will not help. For example, my serving of caffeine is either an espresso shot if I'm in a coffee shop, or if I'm at home, I mix decaf coffee and caffeinated coffee. I have 4-cup coffee maker and I use 3 spoons of decaf and only 1 spoon of caffeinated. That gives me, I figured, approximately the same amount of caffeine or even less. My brain is very sensitive. Even like caffeinated coffee made at home, that's gonna put me over the top into anxiety and jitteriness, not into focus that I need to get things done. So be careful with caffeine. Also be careful with sugar. Sugar will spike your energy, but then it will crash and also might contribute to your anxiety and jitteriness, especially with caffeine, mixed with caffeine. So processed sugars are not great, and also processed carbohydrates like white bread, croissant, really for most people not so great, especially with caffeine. Eggs are amazing. Why do I say that? Eggs are the richest source of acetylcholine. No, they're actually the richest source of choline that in the brain is meant into acetylcholine. And acetylcholine is the third chemical that is needed to create the state of focused attention and to learn better, to create memories. And eggs are the richest sources. And once you have all the building blocks that you need to create your perfect focused cocktail, it's very hard not to focus. So eggs, maybe 2-3 eggs for breakfast, a little bit of beans with fiber and carbohydrates that last for hours, a little bit vitamin C, maybe lemon in your water, because vitamin C is needed to make norepinephrine, for example. And you're good to go, and use all the other ideas. Re-listen if you find some ideas interesting. If you did not remember all of them, just re-listen and think about the ideas that in your case might be real affecting your focus. Like what's in your environment, right? What's in your behavior can be contributing to your distracted state of mind, and work on those first. And a bonus idea. Idea number 11, move every 30 minutes. Why? Because the more blood circulation with oxygen and nutrients is delivered to your brain, the easier it is for you to focus. And guess what movement does? It increases circulation to all of your tissues and organs, and of course to your brain. The thing about the brain, it's the highest, it's above your heart. So when you don't move, it's really hard for your heart to deliver oxygen and nutrients and blood there, up there, right? Like on the elevator, it takes hard work. Movement helps. With that, every 30 minutes, that's been done in NASA research. That seems to be like the good period of time. Further than that, and you start getting into distracted, not so focused mode, and not so energetic, also maybe sleepy, just because blood flow going to be compromised towards your brain. 30 minutes, do some stretching, do some squats, do some burpees, depends where you are, what is allowed, what is comfortable. And just keep moving every 30 minutes. For me personally, it's like a craving I experience every 30 minutes if I don't move and work on something. Drink some water, keep yourself hydrated, of course. Hydration is also hugely important. So this is the list that by now got more than 11,000 of views. And I do believe it's very, very useful list, all based on really good data and research. Use it, guys. If you love this list and you'd like to get a PDF absolutely free for you listeners podcast, please do let me know. I'll send you the PDF and you can print it out, put it where you work, and kind of like a pilot before a flight. Before your focused work, you're going to go through the checklist and you're like, this is done, this is done, this is done. Now I'm in perfect condition to get all focused, right? So if you want this PDF, please reach out, Angela@brainbreakthroughcoach.com, or on Instagram at 1000yearyoung. If you found this super useful and would love to share, also please do so. The more you share, the more people you help. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And tomorrow you're going to be listening to another viral list, no less useful and brain upgrading than the one that you listened to today. So stay focused, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.